stranger. I was just wanting to make a little short video just to see, has anybody ever really gave any thought to what's going on about the Sabbath? The pastors will tell you that the Sabbath was made for the Jews. It wasn't made for the Gentiles, that we didn't have to keep the Sabbath, that we didn't have to keep that commandment. But the Bible plainly tells us, I think it's in John. Let me go to John. Let's find out what John said. He said this: "He that saith, I know him, and keep not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him." So we do have to keep the commandments of the Most High. We're not exempt from that. Just because we're not the bloodline, but we are drafted in to the vine. We're not separate from the vine, but we're drafted in, that we do the same thing. And the Most High didn't expect nothing more out of them than he does us. I mean, he expects us to do the same thing. We're not exempt from doing his laws and keeping his laws. It says in Romans chapter 2 that we're going to be judged by his law. So he said it's not the hearers of the law that's going to be just before him, it's going to be the doers. So do we keep the Sabbath? And where did the Sabbath come from? Well, I'm going to tell you, the Sabbath is come right straight out of Rome. And it came, the Sunday worship and all that came through the Catholic Church, and it's just all teachings of men. It's not in the Bible that we keep our Sabbath on the first day of the week or whenever we want to. We do have instructions. The Bible gives us instructions. In Timothy, he's talking. Paul wrote a letter to Timothy. Let me see if I can find it. He wrote a letter to Timothy, telling Timothy that all scriptures are for teaching and doctrine and for instructions. So let me see if I can find it. Here it is. It's in 2 Timothy 3:16. It says, "All scriptures are given by inspiration of Yah, and is profitable for doctrine, and for reproof, for correction, for instructions in righteousness." See, the Bible tells us that we get our instructions out of here. So if we're following the Gregorian calendar for the Sabbath, do you think the Most High is he's telling us, he said, "Come out of her, my people." Well, he was talking about this paganism that's going on today. It's not that we're going to have a Gregorian calendar in the New Kingdom and we're going to be following it, and they say we following the 7 days and it's never been interrupted. I mean, come on. You tell me they've had an 8-day calendar. That would be something that would mess it up right there. And how do we know? So we have to go to the scriptures, just like Paul told Timothy, that our instructions come from here. And he has got a calendar. And he don't name them these pagan names. He didn't name the days. He named them the first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, and so on. He didn't name the days. So the days are, all these days that we're doing today is just do some research and study and see what's going on, to see how we're being deceived. So what we need to do is do research see where the days come from, the names of the days, where they came from, and what's going on. Because when the disciples was with Yeshua, and they asked him what was going to happen at the end, and when the end was coming, well, the first thing he told them, he said, be careful that you're not deceived. That was the first thing. So we need to get away from all these commandments of men, all this Christmas, Easter, and all these things that men has told you to do, and making everything to be a lie. The Most High is not going to be part of anything, any lie. I'm going to tell you that right now. You can go ahead and do your stuff if you want to, but it's all lies. And you're not going to escape, or you're not going to make your own way. It's through His instructions that we're going to make it. And if we study His Word, He gives us days in here in Leviticus that the Sabbath comes on. And we're going to go see. Now what I've studied, I see that the Sabbath always falls on 8, 15, 22, and 29. Nowhere in this Bible you'll see, now He does call a Sabbath, now the Day of Atonement, He calls that a Sabbath. That's a day that you don't work. He says it's like a Sabbath unto you. Or let me see what it says. Let me see if I can find it here. It says, it shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest. He's talking about the Day of Atonement. It says it'll be a Sabbath unto you. So the Sabbath is every 7 days. It's the seventh day that He calls the Sabbath. So let's go into some scripture, and let's see if we can find out His calendar, and we'll find out all the Sabbaths, they fall on 8, 15, 22, and 29. They fall on them days, and we're going to go like over in some other scriptures, and we're going to get proof that they was doing the same thing. They kept the same days. There wasn't no difference in it. So let's start off right here at Leviticus chapter 23 and 39. Let's read that. It says, also in the 15th day of the 7th month, this is the Feast of Tabernacles, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Elohim 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath. Now He said on the first day shall be a Sabbath. Now the first day, what was it? It was on the 15th. He said also in the 15th day of the 7th month. So, and He said the first day would be a Sabbath, so that's a 15. Okay, let's count backwards from that 15, and if we count backwards, 7 days, it would be an 8. And if we go 7 more days after that, okay, let's see, now there's the new moon day, and then right after the new moon day, it'll be a work day, and that starts off your count. And then you work 6 working days, and then the 7th day, which would be on the 8th day, is a Sabbath. And then you work 6 more days, and on that 7th day will be the 15th. Alright? And then you work 6 more days, and on the 7th day would be the 22nd. And then the 29th after that. So that does the whole cycle of the moon. And then it starts all over again. And then you start all over with your Sabbaths again, the same thing over and over and over. If let's say I was using the Gregorian calendar, okay, if I lost the Gregorian calendar, let's say I got off somewhere and I lost it, well, I would never be able to find the Sabbath anymore. It would be totally lost forever. I never would be able to find, I never would keep the Sabbath on the right day. Or any of his holy days, I never would be able to find them. But if you go by the new moon and you count off like this, you can find each, you can get right back on track. I've done got used to the observing the moon to see how it does and everything, and I can tell you the next day, within a day, when the Sabbath's coming. And so that's the way. It's by the lunar. It's not by the Gregorian. You're not going to be able to keep the Sabbath on the right day by the Gregorian calendar. You're not going to have a calendar to hang on the wall in the New Kingdom. You just forget about it. It's a lie. It's full of lies, paganism, and it's full of abominations. So if we go by his calendar that he put in the sky, let's go to Leviticus. It's 104. And let's look at Leviticus 104. No, it ain't Leviticus. I'm sorry. It's Psalms 104. Psalms 104. Let's look at that. And let's find out Psalms 104. I don't know why I said Leviticus, but it's Psalms 104. A little bit further over. Psalms 104. It just come to my mind and I just wanted to. Okay, why did he write this? If the moon didn't have nothing to do with it, and we know David, if you'll read the story about David, he talked about the moon. And then if you talk, I mean, it's all in here. And if you go to Isaiah, I think it's 66 or 65, you can read in there, and it says every new moon and every Sabbath will come worship him in the new kingdom. So let's read Psalms 104 and 19. Let's see what it says. It says, he appointed the moon for seasons, and the sun knoweth it's his going down. So he said he appointed the moon for seasons. All right, I tell you what, let's go see what seasons mean. What he meant by seasons. And let's see, where would that be? That would be in Numbers. Yeah, that would be in Numbers, chapter 9, verse 2. Let's read this, and let's see what he meant by seasons. It says, let the children of Israel also keep the Passover at his appointed season. Now, what did he say that for? Appointed season. Let me check another one here. Let me check one more. I think we got another precept on this. Let me see where it's at. Let me see if I can find this one. Yeah, here's another one. These are the feast of the Yahweh, even holy convocations which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. So he's saying the seasons is the days that we celebrate. So now let's go in here and let's go to Chronicles, and let's see if we can find. Let's see. This is 2nd Chronicles, and I'm trying to find one here. that's let me see. Let me go back here. We'll find it here in just a second. 2 Chronicles 7 and 9. 2 Chronicles 7 and 9. 2 Chronicles 7 and 9. Okay, let's read this and let's see what it says here. It says, and in the 8th day they made a solemn assembly, for they kept the dedication of the altar 7 days, and the feast 7 days, and on the 23rd day, that means the 23rd day of the 7th month, he sent the people away. See, he sent the people away on the day after the Sabbath. See, they still kept these days. You'll find out that this 15, 22, and 29, let's go, let me see if I can find another one here. Let's go to Nehemiah. Nehemiah. It'd be Nehemiah 8 and 18. It says, also, day by day, from the first day unto the last day, he read in the book of the law of Yah, and they kept the feast 7 days. And on the 8th day was a solemn assembly according unto their manner. See, there it is again. They keeping these same days. They're not going to different days. Let's see if we can find another one. This is Esther 9 and 18. Esther 9 and 18. Alright, it says, but the Jews that were in Shoshan, I guess that's the way you pronounce it, assembled together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof, and in the 15th day of the same they rested, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. So there it is again. They rested on the 15th day. That's a Sabbath. It's always on the 15th. And if you can, it's 15, 22, 29 on the 8th, and the new moon starts the month, and then you have 6 working days, and then that 8th day is your Sabbath. And then after that, you have 6 more working days, and then that 8th day would be that 7th day would be a Sabbath. So that'd be 8, 15, 22, and 29. So his calendar is in here. He expects us to go get our instructions out of here, to see what they done, to see what's going on here. This a lot of people say, we don't go by the moon or anything like that. They'll go to okay, let's go to Colossians. I think it's Colossians 2 and 14. Let's go in here and read what Paul, and this is what a lot of Christians, a lot of them, they'll say, well, this means that you can do anything you want to. No. Paul was talking to people here in Colossians that the people, they kept these pagan days too. And see, they was going to have to change everything that they knew and do how Paul was teaching them, what Paul was teaching them. And he said, don't let them judge you. It says here, it says, let no man therefore judge you in meat. Well, because there's a dietary law in Leviticus, and it's in Leviticus chapter 11, that we don't eat pork, and or in drink. There's just things that we don't do as believers, that ones that believe. or in or respect of a holy day. See, the Bible, the Most High has got holy days. The Bible, the devil has got holidays. He has tried to copy everything the Most High has done, and he has got the people serving him on the days he says to serve them, to keep these days that he wants them to keep, instead of keeping the Most High's days. You see what's happened here? Can you see what's going on? The days that you keep is a bunch of lies. The Bible says all liars will have their part in hellfire. So we got to be in truth. What's the truth? It can't be in a lie. You're not bringing him into your lies and saying that he was born in a certain day, knowing he wouldn't. But you was going to bring him in there. We doing it on account of this, or we doing it on account. I don't care. He don't care. It's a lie. Get out of it. Quit doing it. This right here, it says, in respect of an holiday or a holy day, or of a new moon. See, the new moon. He's talking about a new moon here. And or of the Sabbath days. See, he's telling them not to let nobody judge them on the stuff that they're doing. Not stuff that you can just do anything. They word it like this means you can do anything. Well, that's a lie. He gives us instructions. He says, if any man comes to you with any other doctrine besides what we brought you or taught you, let that man be accursed. Let me go read it to you. It's in Galatians. It says, which is, let's see, but though we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. As we said before, so say I now again, if any man preach any other gospel unto you than that ye have received, let him be a curse. See, we're receiving this from Paul and John and Luke, Matthew, Yeshua, and the Most High. If it don't contain that in what they taught, don't have no part of it. Call them a liar. They liars. This gospel that they brought, if any man's coming to you with anything different than this Bible, let that man be accursed. Don't have nothing to do with him. He's telling people lies. So don't be in any part of any lie. Stay in truth, what the truth is. It's this thing is really not that hard to figure out. I was going to go to Isaiah. I think it's in Isaiah chapter 66. Let's go and see what this says here. Isaiah chapter, it's in chapter 66. And listen to this. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahweh. So, see, these things that we're being taught, people, is like his calendar's in here. I can go and I might make another video and explain it a little bit different, and I hope it wouldn't confuse you. But it's his calendar's in here. We can go and study in his word and find out the days And he gives it all, everything that we need in here, our instructions. So everything's going to be truth. It's not going to be a lie. It's going to be truth if they come to you with truth. And these scriptures that the preachers are twisting around and making a lie, they're going to pay for that. Because there's a lot of people that's following them. A lot of people's following Christianity today, and it's a bunch of lies and man-made. Every bit of it's man-made. They have made it up. But we need to get back to what they was talking about, what they was doing, keeping the traditions that he taught, and keeping the things that he taught us. Let me go see if I can read this one more scripture right here. I think it's in it says it says right here, it says, now we command you, brethren, in the name of our Elohim, that ye withdraw yourselves from every brother that walk disorderly, and not after the traditions which he receives from us. If he didn't receive it from them, don't walk after his ways. Don't do it. People, read the Bible and follow their instructions. Your preacher, this Christianity stuff, I tell you, they have twisted the minds and the scriptures and made things a lie. And we need to stand up for the truth and stand up for what they teach, not that we're separate and we do our own thing. No. We're drafted into the vine. We're commanded to keep his Passover, to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, to do the things that he's told us to do in the scriptures, to follow the scriptures. That's our duty. And the man came to Yeshua when it's in Luke chapter, let's go to Luke chapter 10. Luke chapter 10. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? And he said unto him, what is written in the law? He asked him, what was written in the law? We need to keep his laws, his statutes, his commandments, and leave off all this stuff that the devil has done in following his commandments. We have to keep the Most High's ways, not the ways of men that the devil has deceived the people and caused them to teach it. I pray that this has been a help to somebody, that somebody that would stand up for truth and stand up for what they taught, and not all this paganism that's going on today. And I pray that this would help you and would lead you to search and try to find out truth. Don't be a victim. He can lead us all into truth, and he said he would if we'll seek for the truth. Have a blessed day.